Hello, you dirty tossers. Undead Juggernaut here, with another message from the road to survival. Today we're going to be talking about wars, and I know it's a bit late for that. It is a wee bit late, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Anyway, I know it's a bit late, but at the end of the day, it's never too late for good advice, and to follow up and talk about the things that we did right and did wrong and can do better in the future. So consider this kind of a review. First off, let's talk about the SOP. That stands for Standard Operating Procedure. Now, for those of you who have been with us for a while, you already know this. The whole team should know it by now, but I'm going to go over it anyway. Generally speaking, we go first for the towers. Make sure you've got them secured. Then we go for General A. Everybody goes for General A. And then you go for General B, and then back to A, back to B, basically until you've got the generals wiped out. And then you go clockwise around Camp A from General A, and then clockwise from General B. So you basically take out first the generals, then the camps. The key to winning wars is towers. So I'd like to take a minute to welcome our newest recruits. And among them was somebody named War Crimes. Now, War Crimes is an actual vet who's been in war, and he suggested a new addition to our SOP, which we talked about, and the leaders decided it's a great addition, so we're going to use it going forward. Now, what it has to do with is the towers. Basically, the idea is that we take volunteers to secure the towers. Now, in the past, we've always called them out. Like I'd say west, and then EB would say east, and then Rags would say south. This time what we're going to do is a backup. So basically it's I say west, EB says backing up west. Then somebody else says south, backing up south, east, etc. Now the reason for that is that at the nanosecond that it says go, and what you want to do is click on the tower first so it's ready. And then when it says go, you click OK, and then the tower, and then your team. And if two of us are doing that at the same time, we have double the odds of getting in. Then what you do is after you wait. If you didn't get it, just wait. Don't attack anybody yet, okay? You wait, and then once you have the other person has secured that tower, you jump into it. So there's at least 2 people in every tower. Ideally, we'd like 3 in every tower, but, you can only have 8 members, and, there's 3 towers, so that'd be 9, and that's impossible. Anyway, but you want to do at least 2 in each tower, and then you can start doing SOP. So from now on, that's the plan. You want to volunteer for a tower, and everyone else will be SOP. So if you are not somebody who has been volunteered as a tower or a backup for the tower, you can go ahead and follow the SOP. Now, let's talk for a second about the other part, which we don't talk about very often, and that is the untouchable. What exactly is the untouchable? Well, for those of you who are morons, which, none of you are, but whatever. And the untouchable is just that. Okay, lads, now listen. It's very important, and lassies, it's very important that you understand. The untouchable is just that. You can't touch them. You don't want to fight them. You don't want to defeat them. The reason for that is that once we get everyone else wiped out, the idea is that having that one person alive will mean that they will encourage them to rebuild, at which point we can milk them for every single point possible. So it's really important that you watch chat. Because what will happen is, if we're getting our asses handed to us, right? Because, sometimes you get your ass kicked and there's nothing you can do about it. Whatever. So if you're getting your ass handed to you, we might say, let's not wait for a rebuild, take them out. Bottom line is there's going to be a commander. Usually it's going to be the lead, whatever leader's in the room. If there's not a leader, it's the highest rank. So take a look at the faction, find out who the highest rank. If it's a highest ranked constable, then that's the person who has command. The person with command is in charge of the entire war, and it's your responsibility to follow it. We're not fans of lone rangers here. There's no heroes. There's no I'm going after MVP. Basically what it is we want everyone to succeed because every point counts. And that brings me to the next point. The untouchable will be able to be destroyed after they rebuild or once the commander has decided that they're not going to rebuild, right? Then he'll say, I like to say, set free the dogs of war. But you can say whatever you want. Basically, it's take them all out, right? And then you can move on to the next war. Generally speaking, though, never ever give up. I'm going to say that again because it's really important. Never, ever give up. Now, why am I saying that? Well, because unfortunately, this last war, we had some people who was just saying, oh, this team's too hard. We're going to just give up, right? No. And here's why. Every fucking point counts. Sorry for getting vulgar, but it's true. Even though when we lose, we still get points. So even if you don't win any, at least try. Because here's the deal. Just because you might not have a team that's good enough to kick everyone's ass doesn't mean that someone there doesn't. Great example, Drinkall. She used every single one of her refills on one of the last wars and then ended up spending coin to get more refills just to secure the towers and then have half the team give up. So if you've got 8 people in there and only 3 of them are actually following the SOP and the rest are just giving up, or, are doing their own thing, what happens? Your score drops. So it's not really fair when some people are dropping real money and end up not being able to get the job done. Does that make sense? Yeah, I know it does. So you don't have to answer that. It's a rhetorical question. Okay, now I need to calm down. I'm starting to sound like Rags or Viggs. Speaking of which, that brings me to the next point. Our boy Rags, who is one of the most respected leaders in our crew, had a bit of a meltdown, didn't he? Yeah, he did. He had quite the meltdown. And why is that, you might ask? Well, the answer is quite simple. He's very passionate about the team. He's very passionate about growing the team. Prime example is Milky. The guy started with practically nothing. I think he was rated B when he got on the team. We don't even let B members in anymore. Now you have to at least be A plus or S1. Now he's A plus plus. He's ready to get up to S1, and it's because we helped. You can ask him about it. He'll tell you all about it. In fact, I myself started on this team with only a D score. No, I'm kidding. It was low though. It wasn't good. And now I'm S1, and that's because these people helped. They care. They want you to do well. So when Rag sees people like Milky and Butterfly, others busting their ass, right? Kyle Baseball, that's the other example, busting their ass and trying really hard just to hit that 15,000 minimum. And then somebody else doesn't at all play the entire weekend, and then jumps in at the end and scores a ton of points. It pisses him off. Why does it piss him off? Well, first off, they're not following the standard operating procedure, are they? They're not. They're not at all. And so he jumps in and he gets Cowboy, basically, takes a bunch of MVPs, and ends up getting the minimum. And, in his defense, he got a couple messages from us leads saying, look, zeros get kicked no matter what. By the way, that's a real thing. If you have a 0 score in a war and you haven't told one of the leads that you won't be participating, you will be booted from Dirty 30. Doesn't matter who you are. No excuses, no exceptions. Even us co-leads have agreed that if we have a 0 score and we have not told other leads that we are not going to be participating for a real reason, we will get kicked. So it's a big deal, right? Anyway, so a couple of us went ahead and sent him a message and say, hey, we need you to score some points or you're out. So he jumps in and gets tons of points, which is great for him, but unfortunately the others that are trying their asses off end up getting completely hosed. So it is a team game. We grow together, we're stronger together, and that's why Rags was all butthurt. That's why he was in America they say angry. In Britain they say pissed. No, wait, it's the other way around because pissed means drunk. Well, he was that too. And so, drinking and playing doesn't really go well together. But when you're really passionate about the game like we are, you kind of tend to get angry and then you fly off the cuff. So Rags apologized to everybody, and Ragnar's very, very passionate. I apologize on his behalf. So, and as the official mouthpiece of Dirty 30 leadership, I'm allowed to do that. There's that. And that's back to the notify. If you're going to be off, we understand. Family things happen. Heck, it was the 4th of July weekend in America. So obviously, some people weren't able to get in. They had family things. But you should still be able to put up the minimum 15 to 20,000 points, which brings me to the next thing. The next war will have a 20,000 minimum. Why is that? Because I did the numbers, I crunched it all, and the average score per player was about 41,000 points. Now, granted, we totally understand that not everybody's going to be able to get 41,000 points, but it's very reasonable that you can get at least 20,000. Now, I don't know if we'll be raising that in the future. I don't really foresee it, but if you think about it, you can get 2,000 to 3,000 per war if you play your cards right? You take the last hit on a general, get 5 in a row. There's all kinds of ways to get bonus points. So if you can get 4, 5, 6,000 in a single war, then it's only going to take about 4 wars, and you've got yourself your 20 grand easy, right? Easy. So yeah. Anyway, so what I say? Let's see. Notify leads if you're not going to be playing. If you are going to be playing, great. Oh yeah. Here's another big thing. So I've been asked a lot, how do I get promoted in this faction? Well, ask War Crimes. He went from a newbie, and in less than 2 weeks, he's now a runner. So how'd that happen? Well, the guy scored double goal, actually almost triple goal. That's it, 15,000 points. So war points really do count, because if you get less than goal, here's what happens. You get demoted. You go down a rank. If you get less than goal, and you haven't had a good reason and haven't told the leaders why you've got less than goal, you're going to go down a rank, all the way down to newcomer. And then it's 3 strikes, and you're out. So if you're a newcomer and you don't score the minimum points, and you do that 3 wars in a row, we have to kick you from the Dirty 30. We have high standards. Watch the Elite Expectations video if you don't recall. We do not accept excuses. If you tell us you're going to score, score. If you're not, then don't make promises you can't keep. Now, as far as getting promoted, the flip side of that coin, let's talk about the good things, right? If you want to get promoted, each level of title has a certain goal, right? Everybody has the same goal, but if you have X amount of points in each level, you get promoted to the next level, all the way up to constable. Now, that doesn't go all the way from constable to co-lead, but it is something we take into consideration when we're looking at new co-leads. You see, right now we have, I believe, 4, maybe 5 co-leads, and we're pretty happy with that number because it's easy for us to have kind of a council and bounce ideas off one another. When you have more than that, it tends to get a little messy. Opinions take over, egos take over. So, we're kind of at the number we need. Right now, we're not looking for co-leads. However, we are watching. So, if you're somebody who's active all the time, if you're somebody who is very passionate about the game, passionate about the team, trying to help people out, giving great advice, play every single day, play in every tournament, whether it's solo or faction, doesn't matter to you. You're all about scoring points. That's awesome. And by the way, solo matters. And it matters for a couple of reasons. I've said this in other videos, I'll say it again. 1, it helps you build your team. It helps you make your team stronger. But 2, your points go toward the total faction points, which improves our rank. So it's really important that you make sure that you're participating in every faction tourney, but especially wars. Now you understand why. So I believe this video has run about 11, maybe 12 minutes. I'm going to end it by telling you this. If you haven't had a chance to see your scores because you're not on GroupMe, we understand if you don't want to share your email or your phone number to get on GroupMe, whatever, that's cool. I would just say set up a fake email so you can get in, but, whatever, teach their own. I'm going to go ahead and post at the very end of this video what the scores were for the last war. And know that 20,000 is your next, so you can see how far you were from the 15,000 goal, if you were over it, if you were under it, and how far it takes to go there. So if you've improved in rank, congratulations on your promotion. If you've decreased in rank, now you understand why. Anyway, so that's about it from the Road to Survival and Undead Juggernaut here. Thank you for hanging tight. This British accent is brought to you by Rags, not only for his freak out, but also for the Brexit. And I really hope that I've done it justice, because if I haven't, well, he's going to kick my ass. And frankly, it's tea time, so Undead Juggernaut out.